Good morning, class. My name is Ms. Garza, and today we will be learning about unions and intersections. Okay, but before we start talking about that, let's just review what we learned about last class. Remember what a set is? Yes, that is correct. A set is a group of objects or numbers or cars or anything really that have something in common. So like a triangle, a rectangle, a circle, that is a set. They're all shapes. So that could be one set. Okay, and now let's remember what set notation is. It is represented by the curly bracket, and we use it on both ends to enclose our set. So like the example I was talking about, if I have a triangle, a square, a circle, that would be our set. Does anyone have questions about that? All right, good. Okay, so now let's talk about the definition of a union. A union between two sets includes all elements in both sets. Now this definition is very important because we will be going back to it whenever we're talking about unions. So I'm going to need you to take out your notebook and write the definition down, and whenever you're doubting what a union is, just go back to it and review it. Okay, so let's start with an example. Let's say we have two groups of students. This group of students plays soccer. This other group plays tennis. So I've divided them out. Now I'm going to write them in set notation. That is the first step. The first step is to write it in set notation. So how will I write this? I'm going to start with the title of the group. So for this one, it's going to be soccer. And how do we start the set? With the curly bracket that encloses my set. And so the people that are in soccer are Ben, Tom, and Paige. Oh, something I forgot. Union. The union has a symbol that is very easy to remember, and it is represented by a U. By a U. And we can think of the U of the symbol as or. So I'm going to write it right here. Or. Because a union represents the students who are in soccer or tennis. So they play sports, right? They're in both lists. Okay, so let's get back to the example. We have soccer, and Ben, Tom, and Paige play soccer. And I'm going to close this. And then we have tennis. And those who play tennis are Paige, Daniel, and Sharon. Okay, now can someone tell me what the union between these sets? That's right, it's everyone. So how I'm going to write it is the first set, which is soccer. The symbol for union, which is the U, and then my second set, which is tennis, and I'm going to use the brackets again, and for this we're going to include everyone. Paige, who else? Daniel, and Sharon. Notice it's those who play soccer or tennis. Okay, let's move on to a different example. Okay, now we're going to do it with numbers. I'm going to have two sets, how we talked about yesterday, set X and set Y. And the numbers to set X are going to be 5, 3, 2, and 9. And the numbers for Y are going to be 10, 7, and 3. Okay, so now what is a union of sets X and Y? That's right, it would be all numbers, 5, 3, 2, 9, 10, and 7. Remember, this is our symbol for union. Okay, so now does anyone have any questions? Okay, now let's move on to our second topic of today, which is intersection. Now, I'm going to write the definition of what an intersection is over here. Which is the elements in set, let's call in both, I'm just going to say elements that sets have in common. I don't know how to spell common. There we go. Okay. Now I want you to write this definition on your notebook because it will be important. I don't want you to get confused with the two. Okay, we're going to use the same example of the soccer and tennis students. So I'm going to write it the same. So remember, we have soccer and we have tennis. And for soccer, we have Ben, Tom, and Paige. So here's our first step. We write it in set notation. So for tennis, we have Paige, Daniel, and Cher. Now, who plays both soccer and tennis? That's right, it's Paige. So Paige would be considered the intersection because both our set of soccer players and our set of tennis players have this player in common. So how we're going to write that, intersection also has a symbol which I didn't mention before, and it is represented by an upside down U. All right, and we can think of it as and. Because remember, our first set and our second set will have this element. So how we write it is soccer, the intersection between soccer and tennis is H. Clear? Let's move on then. I'm going to get rid of this example so we can go over another example. Okay, and after this example, you're going to get to try it. Okay, so we have set So we have two sets, x and y. Set x includes numbers 5, 10, 11. Set y includes 10, 14, and 9. Okay, now the intersection, is which number is in both set x and set y. It's number 10, correct? Okay, so now we're going to write the intersection of set x and set y is number 10, just how we did it with the last example. Alright, so now you try it. I'm going to give you a set of examples, and I want you to work on them following the steps, and I will write the steps. Okay, so step number 1. What is step number 1? That's right, we write in set notation. Then, second step, identify elements. In both sets. All elements. So number 2 would be for the union, and number 3 for the intersection. Identify elements. Sets have in common. So I'm going to put right here just to remind you of the symbols. Okay, so go ahead and write the steps down. Okay, good. So I'm going to go ahead and erase them so I can give you the example. Okay, the first, I'm going to write them like 1, 2, and I'm going to have example here right here. So first example that you are going to have to try on your own is, we have set of x, set of y, numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, and 13. And so what we have 5, 4, and 9. Now for rock and pop, we have these students who like rock, these students who like pop. Okay, now for the third example, it's going to be written differently, but it's the tricky one. Not really. You should be able to get it. All right, now go ahead and try these problems on your own. If you have any questions, raise your hand and I will come to help you. I'm going to give you about 25 minutes, and if you need any help, raise your hand and I will come. Okay. All right, good job everyone. So today we have learned about unions and intersections. Make sure when you do the homework, you go back and you read the definitions if you're having problems, and if you are stuck in a problem from the homework, go ahead and write what you think you could do, and then you can come back tomorrow and we can figure it out together. Have a good day.